All right. So when we're solving exponential base 10, we have to have the exponential base 10 before we can do the whole sentence. So we need to get rid of the 12 first. So the inverse of 12, adding 12 is subtracting 12. Order of operations backwards, of course. So the 12's got to go before the 5. What you do on the left, you must do on the right. So 5 times 10 to the x plus 3 is equal to 35. Then that's 5 times, so I've got to get rid of the 5. So I divide by 5. What I do on the left, I must do on the right. So I end up with 10 to the x plus 3 is equal to 7. Now I have an exponential base 10 that I need to solve for. Your next quiz is on lesson 2. It's all on exponential base 10s. If you are not using log when you do these problems, you will not pass the quiz. Okay? So it says that sentence we wrote 10 times. The log of the answer is equal to the exponent. Please write it down as work there. I know. Please write it down as work. Don't just type it into the calculator and put the decimal answer down. I want to know where the decimal answer is coming from. So now do log 7 in the calculator. And that is equal to x plus 3. You need to subtract 3 from both sides. And you get the negative 2.15 for x. All right, so the connection between lesson 1 and lesson 2, lesson 1 is on 1-to-1. So if I have an exponential graph, it does pass the vertical and horizontal line test, so it is a 1-to-1 function, which means that it can have an inverse. So if we draw the y equals x line in there, we reflect it over the y equals x line, we will get a graph like this. So somebody one day did this. They did the exponential table and graph. They switched the x and y. They made the new table and graph. And they called this logarithm, as to be more precise, but we shorten it to log. And back before the calculators, they would have a table in the back of your book that would have the table for the log, which is just the inverse of the exponential table. So that's where it came from. I don't know why they named it log, but it didn't come out of the middle of air. We do have daily quizzes starting on Monday. The first one in there for the daily quiz is the definition of log. The definition of log is exactly the same sentence we were just writing. So if we have an exponential base 10, we will only be doing base 10 in Math 3. You want other bases, you can do other bases. You can learn about that in pre-calc. The calculator only has the tables set up for base 10 and for base E, but there are ways to get other bases. C. Okay, so 10, definition of log, 10 to the C is equal to A. If you have that, that's what we were just doing, then the sentence goes, the log of the answer is equal to the exponent. The log of the answer is equal to the exponent, assuming that you have that exponential base 10. And that is a double arrow there because you could go in either direction. So if you had a log, you could write it as an exponential. Or if you have an exponential, you could use log to solve that. I'm on page 568. The income required for a family of 4 to stay out of poverty in the United States at some time in the future is predicted by this function. I standing for income, T for time in years after 2008. The question says, when will the poverty level income be $25,000? When will the income be $25,000? So you just substitute that, plug right where the I is, copy the rest of the equation down. Once you get through that, it looks exactly like what we were doing a minute ago. 21,200 times that, so I need to get rid of it by dividing by it. So 25,000 divided by is 1.18. 10 to the 0.01 t. Log of the answer is equal to the exponent. Log of the answer 0.07 is equal to the exponent. That is 0.01 times t, so to get rid of that, I would divide 0.01. 0.07 divided by 0.01, which is 7. So 7 years after 2008.